Song that was Smile by Uncle Kracker. Absolutely fantastic song, and I hope it made you smile. And I hope the song before that just makes your heart hum. We listened to Pink and Sarah McLachlan doing Angel. Oh man, they have beautiful voices. You know, the vibrations of music really resonate with us because we are energy based, and so we are small little particles of energy that are vibrating all the time, so fast and so small that we can't actually see it ourselves, but it's happening. And that's why music speaks to us so deeply. That's why it touches our soul, right? I'm not a religious person. I never really went to church much in my life, but absolutely love church music. I've gone a few times, like when I was a kid growing up, I went a couple times with my friends who had to go. So they were forced to go, and so quite often I was like, okay, I'll come with you, or if I was sleeping over or whatever. And then, of course, I went to Girl Guides, which was, and Brownies and Pathfinders. So they were all at a church. So I had a little bit of church exposure, and then when I became an adult, then I went a couple times to different churches for different reasons, and I always loved the music. I always loved the energy, regardless of what the words were. It was just so powerful, and then they'd start talking and they'd lose me. But but the music part I absolutely loved. So I think we all tune into music in such a spiritual way. It is like so awesome. You know, that's quite often that's what makes your heart hum. And for a lot of people, regardless of whether you meditate or not, or do yoga, or, you know, we were talking about grounding and earthing and different things earlier. So regardless what you have going on, we all go into that meditative state when we hear that song that touches our heart, whether it be the harmonies or it's an upbeat thing. You know, you look at different... Anybody who's a favorite musician, and you can tell when they're in their zone. You know, I think of Jimi Hendrix a lot, but I don't know if that's the greatest example, because then people say, well, yeah, but he's high. Whatever. He's still in his zone. It still is his release. It's like Michael Jackson. When he's dancing and he's doing his thing, that's his time to get away from, you know, whatever is going on in the wacky world around him. So, you know, music is a wonderful tool when you're feeling down or stressed or whatever's going on in your life. Tap into music, listen to your favorite song, crank it up, sing loud and proud. Who cares if the words are right? You know, my daughter Nicole, I always sing songs the way I think I hear it the right way. So, you know, if you can't drive your kids nuts, who can you do that too? And your partner. And your grandchildren, whatever, and your siblings, and your parents. Family, family, family. So, there was a song, and I should find out what it's actually called. And she listened to it all the time on the radio, and I swear it was Mow the Lawn. Mow the lawn, mow the lawn, mow the lawn. And finally, and I'd have it cranked, because, you know, I didn't want anybody to hear me singing. And finally, one day, I was like, hey, that reminds me, you got to mow the lawn. And she killed herself laughing. Not literally, of course. Because she's like, that is not even what it is. Move along. I think it's called Move Along. So anyways, so whatever it is you think the words say, just enjoy it anyways. Sing it loud and proud. You know, Alice, my granddaughter, she is going to be 3 in 2 weeks, December 15th. And she's big into Moana. And in princesses in general. But I really try to, you know, encourage her little confidence. And so when we're watching Moana and Maui, if you haven't watched it, that's The Rock, when he sings the You're Welcome song, I really try to encourage her. I'd say, oh, Alice, you have the most beautiful voice. Please sing for Nana. Because I just want her to have that confidence. I want her not to care. I want her to, you know, feel good and just feel empowered by being able to, you know, sing and share that awesomeness. We all have awesomeness inside. We need to share that. Speaking of awesomeness, it's time for the awesome good news. So let's check it out. Let's see what is going on in the world. That is absolutely awesome. So this is very cool. Mexico. You know, I love the world pulling together, which is fantastic. This is our world. This is our planet. We need to be people first, right? We need to focus on leaving an awesome planet for the people behind us, for whether it's our kids or grandchildren, or maybe you don't have kids. Leave it for my kids. Leave it for somebody else. But you know, we can't go through like a tornado and just trash the place, take what we want, and say screw it to the next generation, right? We need to do what we can to preserve. So this is really awesome. Mexico's president, Enrique Pena Nieto, designated North America's largest ocean reserve as a national park. The designation will protect more than 57,000 square miles, wow, of ocean teeming with 37 species of sharks and rays, 4 species of threatened sea turtles, and 366 species of fish, 26 of which can be found only in this part of the world. Pena Nieto officially created the Revillagigedo, I hope I said that right, Revillagigedo Archipelago National Park on Friday, which protects the reserve from all forms of fishing, mining, and construction of new hotels on the islands. With this decision, Mexico has become a world leader in marine conservation and joins the list of countries that are increasing their protected marine area. Nora Torres of the Coalition of the Defense of Seas of Mexico told Newsweek in an email. One species emblematic of the marine area, Torres said, is the clarion angelfish. The bright yellow and orange species, awesome striped with blue, is also known as striped with blue, is restricted to a reef habitat of less than 30 square miles, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The species is already vulnerable, one step beneath endangered, and has been collected for use in the aquarium trade. Other endemic species include the multi-bared tripplefin, island tripplefin, and a species of sand stargazer, according to Max Bello, a spokesperson for the Pew Bertarelli Ocean Legacy Project. Coral species such as these help to keep reefs and oceans biodiverse, which keeps them healthy. Several other species are native to the area as well, including birds, lizards, snakes, and plants. A seabird known as Townsend's shearwater breeds there and nowhere else. Isn't that absolutely awesome? So the article does go on a little bit longer. If you want to check it out yourself, I will definitely be posting it on the Positive Power Facebook page. Or you can find the original article at thegoodnewsnetwork.org. So that is absolutely awesome. And you know, as I read all the different kinds of fish and wildlife, like, really, are we not surrounded by miracles or what? So many miracles around us. Very, very cool. Also, this is very cool as well. So we know that North America needs more industry, right? I actually worked for a company that closed down because. So there's lots of industry where we have lost jobs, both in Canada and in the States, so it's very important that we bring some of those back. So Volkswagen, very cool, will start making electric vehicles in the U.S. by 2023, according to a plan unveiled on Thursday. Herbert Diess, head of the Volkswagen brand, told a press conference Thursday that although the company hadn't yet made a formal decision, Chattanooga is our first choice for making EVs destined to the North American market. Chattanooga is home to Volkswagen's only U.S. plant and has been earmarked for a wholesale expansion since the company's diesel emissions scandal erupted in 2015. Last month, Volkswagen's board approved plans to invest some 34 billion euros, which is equivalent to $41 American billion, over the next 5 years in electric mobility and autonomous driving capabilities. Wow. With the intention of being the world's biggest electric car maker by 2025. The group, which owns the Audi, Porsche, Bentley, and Skoda brands, aims to be making 1 million electric cars by the year 2025. Well, if you've been following the good news portion of my show for the last almost 3 years, we've talked continually, it's come up, about different countries that are passing laws now that by a certain year, they want to have more electric vehicles than any other kind. So somebody's got to supply them, so good for them for getting on board, right? Very important that they do that because supply and demand. That's what it all gets down to, right? That's why, remember, we're so powerful with our money. So, very cool. And then our last story today is pretty interesting. So, it is about, oh, this is really neat. What is going on with this page here? Okay, so, oh, my articles disappeared on me. My goodness. So instead of polluting the planet, food waste finds its purpose by turning it into wine. So that is very cool. It is about tofu. This web page is just being really silly on me today. So there's something in tofu that they have been throwing out for years and years and years. It's long been a vegetarian's best friend, notably because of the meatless product can take the shape of chicken nuggets, a burger, or even scrambled eggs. But now tofu is being used to make a bean curd-based alcoholic wine. Wow! The wine is made with a waste product known as tofu whey. According to a release from the National University of Singapore, tofu whey is a liquid that is smelly and susceptible to harboring bacteria. Manufacturers typically discard it for this reason, and it can pollute rivers if not treated properly, so it's hazardous waste. Researchers in Singapore decided to put the waste product to good use by converting the soy whey into wine without the use of artificial flavors. To accomplish this impressive feat, they employed yeast to ferment the waste product, just like what wine makers do, to make your favorite bottle of red or white wine. Amino acids and minerals found in tofu help foster the growth of yeast in the process. The new drink is created with zero waste, meaning that there are no waste products produced in the making of the wine, so it is a sustainable choice. Aren't they brilliant? Named Sashi, which means flowers and wisdom in Japanese, the beverage is not yet available. The process is lengthy and storing the drink requires substantial resources, so there's no word yet whether it's feasible to produce in large quantities. The team is also fine-tuning the flavor to include more fruity and floral notes. That is so awesome. Now, myself personally, I'm not a huge wine drinker. Although when I go to a wedding and there's wine on the table, it's rude to waste it. But as a rule, I'm not a big wine drinker. So I don't know if I'd necessarily get the opportunity to try this. But if you're a wine drinker, try it out. And anything that we can do to not have the waste is a good thing. And just the fact that they didn't say it's toxic waste, but if they have to do certain processes to make sure that they can dispose of it properly, that falls in the toxic waste category to me. So then that is a wonderful thing, right? We need to reuse. We need to recycle. We need to make this a good environment for our kids, grandchildren, anybody else that's a human being moving forward that is going to outlive us. Let's do that. It's the least we can do. So to leave you off with this, all those articles are going to be on the Positive Power Facebook page. And go on Twitter and all my social media so you can check them out. I don't always read the whole article, so, quite often there's pictures, video, more information. You can check that out at your own convenience. But there are things that we can do in our own homes to help eliminate pollution and to add more positive energy in. So, quickly, 7 plants that provide positive energy for us that you can put in your own home. The lucky bamboo, an orchid, aloe vera plant, rosemary, lavender, jasmine, and peppermint. And peppermint also smells good. Some of those other ones do as well. So surround yourself with an atmosphere of success and put healthy plants like this in your home. They're creating more oxygen. They're cleaning the air. They are healthy living. You know, we need to be closer with nature. Can't stress that enough. So there you go. There's your good news for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, all those articles will be shared on the Positive Power page for you to check out at your own convenience. So now, my friends, it's time to go back to some more positive, upbeat, uplifting music to help you get your groove on so that you can have a little skip in your step. You know, it's good to just bust a move every once in a while. When was the last time you were out and about, whether it be, you know, in a store or in just about anywhere, and you hear a good song and you take that opportunity to bust a little move? Do you do it very often? If you don't, maybe you should, right? Why not? Wherever you are, there's no reason why you can't bust a little move, have a little fun, sing a little song, dance a little dance. Who cares? Who cares if people are looking or not, right? Maybe they're looking with envy, wishing that they could do it as well.